On March 15th, 2026, the Israeli Prime Minister posted a roughly 1-minute video to his official X account. He was sitting inside a small cafe tucked into the hills outside Jerusalem, ordering a drink, chatting with the staff, and then he did something completely unexpected. He raised both hands directly into the camera, spread every single finger wide open, and asked point blank, "You want to count my fingers?" The caption on the post was 5 words. What are they saying about me? That was not a political statement. That was a direct response to an information campaign that had been running for nearly 2 weeks. I'm Tommy, and this channel delivers comprehensive, objective analysis of the US and global economy. Before we keep going, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a breakdown like this one. Your support is what keeps this show going, and I genuinely appreciate every single one of you. Here's the thing. If you watch this video all the way through, you'll understand why this is not just a story about whether one politician is alive or dead. This is a masterclass in how information gets weaponized in the 21st century. And here is why that matters directly to you. The people who understand how that weapon works, whether they're reading financial markets, reading geopolitics, or just making everyday decisions, always see what's coming before the crowd does. That edge is worth more than any hot stock tip you'll ever find. The line Netanyahu used in the video was, "I'm dying for a coffee." It's a Hebrew wordplay, meaning he's desperately craving one. He continued, "I love this country to death, and I'm grateful for how strong our people are staying." Then, almost casually, he added that Israel is hitting Iran very hard right now, even in Lebanon, though he couldn't share specifics. Think about that framing for a second. That is the most relaxed, unbothered public appearance any wartime leader has made during an active shooting war in recent memory. And that, precisely, is the problem. Social media did not breathe a sigh of relief. Social media launched a second wave, harder than the first. People pointed out his coffee cup was still full after he sipped from it twice. People said the lighting on his face looked off. People said his face changed shape from round to oval when he glanced down. And most critically, the AI platform Grok replied to a user suggesting the video could be a deepfake, citing that no real-world event like this exists in verified data. That one reply spread faster than the video itself. The cafe, the Sataf, posted real photos to Instagram confirming he had been there that day. Staff confirmed it. His security detail confirmed it. None of that stopped the second wave. Because this was never about a lack of evidence. This was about a psychological mechanism that had been installed 10 days earlier, specifically engineered to make you doubt everything you see. To understand why a simple 1-minute cafe video could trigger that level of suspicion, you have to rewind to March 12th, 3 days before the coffee clip. That was the day Netanyahu held his first press conference since the war began, broadcast live by the Israeli government press office with their logo clearly visible on screen. He said Iran is not the same Iran it used to be. He said Israeli strikes had eliminated senior nuclear scientists. And then someone screenshotted a single frame mid-gesture. His right hand appeared to have 6 fingers. That image detonated across X, Instagram, Telegram, and Blue Sky simultaneously. The logic was simple and dangerous. AI image generators are notorious for producing distorted or extra fingers. It's one of the most widely known tells of AI-generated content. 6 fingers means the video is AI-generated. AI-generated video means he's dead, and the Israeli government is using a deep fake to cover it up. Conservative commentator Candace Owens, with millions of followers, posted, "Where is Bibi Netanyahu? Why is his office circulating and deleting fake AI videos? And why is the White House freaking out?" PolitiFact reviewed the video frame by frame and rated that claim pants on fire. Snopes confirmed the footage was authentic. According to Newsweek, the viral clip circulating online was more compressed than the original, which made the visual distortion appear worse. The shadow that created the illusion of 6 fingers was caused by a natural crease in Netanyahu's palm during a pointing gesture, visible in exactly one still frame and completely absent in every frame before and after it. The full unedited recording was publicly posted to YouTube by the government press office. But that was not the only thing that happened on March 12th. The same day, a screenshot began spreading on X, claiming to be from the Israeli Prime Minister's official account. The forged post stated that the Prime Minister's office was working to establish contact with him, and that rumors about the Prime Minister's status remain unconfirmed. An account called Otum of the Kremlin on X shared the image and wrote verbatim, "Attention everyone, Netanyahu is dead." The official Israeli Prime Minister account just deleted this tweet. Within hours, that claim had been shared across every major platform. Grok responded immediately beneath that post, stating directly, "Netanyahu is alive." He held a live press conference on March 12th, broadcast by GPO Israel. Reuters and the New York Times both confirmed he was operating normally. The post that was allegedly deleted does not exist. PolitiFact, Snopes, and independent fact-checkers all concluded the screenshot was a fabrication. But here is the key mechanic of this technique. You cannot prove something was never posted when the accusation is that it was posted and then deleted. The deletion claim makes the whole thing unfalsifiable to a casual viewer. By the time 3 separate fact-checking organizations published their findings, the forged image had already completed a full lap around the internet. In information warfare, the truth always arrives later than the lie, not because people are lazy about checking, but because the lie is specifically designed to travel faster. One day later, on March 13th, the U.S. Treasury Secretary was sitting for a live interview on Sky News when a female aide cut in off camera. "The president wants you right away." His microphone was pulled. He left the shot at 10:22 in the morning. The aide said he would be 10 minutes. He came back at 12:07 in the afternoon. 107 minutes. When the anchor asked how the president was doing, Besant stammered, The president is in great spirits. The Iran mission is proceeding well ahead of schedule." Then, completely unprompted, he volunteered that he has a teenage child considering military service and that he would trust his kid's life in the hands of the current military leadership. His body language before the interruption was relaxed and confident. After the Situation Room, his hands were tense, his voice caught. Social media immediately concluded he had just been told Netanyahu was dead. The actual content of the interview after he returned tells a completely different story. He spent the remainder of the time talking about the Strait of Hormuz. 16 commercial vessels struck since the war began. Oil prices back above $100 a barrel after nearly hitting $120 earlier that week. The war's cost to the United States running at roughly $11 billion. The most important thing he said was not about missiles. It was about geography. He confirmed he did not believe Iran had mined the strait because Iranian and Chinese flagged tankers were still moving through freely. That means this is not a total blockade. This is a selective economic weapon, targeting Western and Israeli-linked shipping while leaving Allied traffic untouched. Iran's foreign minister confirmed it himself. The Strait of Hormuz is open to our friends. According to UNTAD, roughly 20 million barrels of oil pass through that strait every single day. That's about 25% of all seaborne oil traded globally. 1/3 of global fertilizer trade moves through the same choke point. The International Energy Agency had to take the rare step of releasing 400 million barrels from emergency reserves just to stabilize the market. That 107-minute Situation Room meeting was not about the fate of an allied head of state. It was about the single most important energy choke point on the planet getting squeezed tighter by the day. But that context never had a chance on social media. The image of a visibly shaken Treasury Secretary had already been locked onto a narrative that had been building for days, a narrative that started with silence. Somewhere between March 7th and March 10th, Netanyahu went completely dark. No video, no photographs, just text statements attributed to an office nobody could see. Before that gap, he had been posting 1 to 3 video addresses every single day since the war started on February 28th. One day without video during an active missile war is unusual. 2 days is notable. He went dark for nearly 4 days straight. On March 10th, Iran's Tasnim news agency published a piece claiming he was either gravely wounded or dead. This is not some fringe blog. The U.S. Treasury Department formally designated Tasnim as connected to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps back in September 2023. When Tasnim publishes, it does not reflect the opinion of a journalist. It reflects the strategy of a military organization. The article also cited former U.S. intelligence officer Scott Ritter, sourced through Russian state media, claiming Iran had struck Netanyahu's hideout and killed his brother. No evidence was offered. Tasnim itself acknowledged the claims were unconfirmed. The article was still shared hundreds of thousands of times within hours. To understand why that article spread so fast, you have to go back to March 2nd. 8 days earlier, day 3 of the war. The IRGC issued a statement through Iranian state television claiming that in their 10th wave of retaliatory strikes, K-bar ballistic missiles had struck Netanyahu's office in Tel Aviv. In that same statement, Iran announced it had shot down 3 American fighter jets over Kuwait. The Pentagon confirmed those 3 aircraft were actually downed by Kuwaiti friendly fire during an Iranian barrage. The IRGC lied about the jets. The Times of Israel confirmed 0 missile impacts near the Prime Minister's office. Xinhua reported that residents in the area saw no damage whatsoever. And the Prime Minister's office confirmed that the very next day, March 1st, Netanyahu was still meeting with the Defense Minister, the Chief of Staff, and the Mossad Director in Tel Aviv. But that initial claim had already been planted into the information space like a seed. It did not need to be true right away. It just needed to exist. So that when the next information gap came, people already had a ready-made story to attach to it. The forged screenshot, the 6-finger clip, the Besant moment, and finally the coffee video getting called a deepfake. Every single one of those was just the same tree growing from the same seed. This is the point most people miss entirely. The goal of this entire campaign was never to convince everyone that Netanyahu is dead. If that were the goal, it failed completely because he has appeared on camera dozens of times. The real goal was to make sure that every single time he appears, a portion of the audience asks, "But is that actually real?" That is the difference between deception and doubt. Deception needs people to believe the wrong thing. Doubt only needs people to be unsure about the right thing. And while that machine keeps running against Tel Aviv, there's a genuinely more important question sitting unanswered in Tehran. Iran's new supreme leader, elected by the Assembly of Experts on March 8th, has not appeared publicly even once since being chosen, has not been heard speaking, has not been photographed. Iranian state media on March 12th read out a statement attributed to him without releasing any contemporary video or audio of him. Read out. Not filmed, not broadcast. According to Reuters, an Iranian official confirmed he was wounded in the February 28th strike. The New York Times, citing intelligence sources, reported his injuries may be more serious than officially acknowledged. The Guardian quoted Iran's ambassador to Cyprus, confirming he barely survived, but 6 family members died in the same attack. When the US president was asked directly about his condition, the answer was short and clinical. He thinks the supreme leader's son is damaged, but probably alive in some form. Probably alive in some form. That is not reassurance. That is a president describing a foreign head of state the way you would describe someone pulled from a wreckage. The IRGC spent 2 weeks building a cloud of uncertainty around Tel Aviv, but Iran's own supreme leader hasn't been seen alive in 2 weeks. The conspiracy they manufactured about Israel turned out to be the reality they were living inside Iran. And here's the last question worth sitting with. Not about Netanyahu. He ordered coffee on camera. He counted his fingers. He chatted with the barista. The real question is this. If a 1-minute cafe video can still be turned into evidence of a conspiracy, then you are living inside an information environment where evidence and conspiracy no longer have a clear boundary between them. Every war has 2 battlefields. The missile battlefield leaves rubble you can see and damage you can measure. The cognitive battlefield leaves something that cannot be measured, cannot be removed, and has no ceasefire date. The people who understand the difference between those 2 battlefields, whether in financial markets, in politics, or in any decision they make in their own lives, always see clearly before the people who are still trying to figure out what is real. Thanks so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate your support. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you think is winning this war? Do you think it's getting out of hand? Let me know. Subscribe and like the video if you want to stay updated, and click the video on screen to see the next one. I'll see you soon.